I'd like to welcome Diana from Martinez from Mrs. Ortega's first grade class to come up and help us lead us in the flag salute, if you would, please. Right over here. And you're gonna be in charge. You're gonna tell us all what to do. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Right hand on your heart, ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job.
Job.
And then we're gonna turn that around and we're gonna take a nice look. Perfect.
1, 2, there we go.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
None. Pretty soon you'll do all, yeah, you won't get any more.
You should just email these to us.
Good job. Great idea.
There's not two.
No, that's it.
Oh, sorry. There you go. I didn't realize they
Save
were
some trees.
separate.
Right? Save trees.
Okay, so we go right into the approval of the without the changes and those. Alright. I'd like to call for motion for the approval of September 10th, 2024 regular board meeting.
Make a motion to approve the September 10th regular board meeting minutes.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Changes, additions to the agenda. We actually do have some changes. On the vouchers, we're gonna remove the second, third and fourth vouchers from this. They're dated for a different date as when they were approved. So we'll bring those at the next meeting. So we're removing those from this. That'll be the change made to it. Any public comment? None at this time. Okay, we'll move on to Dr. Darling with his presentation, his report.
I apologize that I didn't get it to you Friday like we typically do. We're not sure. There's a glitch in the matrix. But so on the 11th, we had the high school open house and it actually was also kind of a career fair, and I thought Dan there. They had the military, they had universities present, they had different opportunities there. But yeah, that's right. So, oh yeah, so I'm very there too. So it was a nice night. I had a hot dog and chips and it was good. So update, we had all the equipment show up and all the final materials for the HT playground to finish its installation this week. And you might have seen on the news about a truck and trailer that had a rollover accident in Tri-Cities on the way to Home Depot. That was one of our playground installers running to get some final pieces of equipment they needed. And a lot of their tools and personal items were in there, and this crew is coming from Olympia. And so they reset this week. They all headed back home. They're getting all the tools and stuff. They'll be here first thing next week to finalize all because right now they're finishing the padding underneath the whole thing. They have the squishy pad that so if it landed, we bend and not break. And so that's so we're getting close. And we had a district-wide for the leadership team, a threat assessment training yesterday by Christy New.
Yeah, something like that.
We're not sure. He says it so fast. I'm not sure how he says it. From ESD 105 from their safety and security office. And he was actually praised us more than he trained us, because he talked about how the systems that have been implemented in our district, especially the stuff that's happening at the middle school, is a model that he's using not through the ESD 105, but also statewide about doing their threat assessment protocols and their responses to threats and such. And so we had a lot of kudos for the middle school staff on the work that they're doing. And so that was good to hear. Or just a reminder, tomorrow at the high school and then from 7:45 to 11:15, we're having our second student advisory committee meeting, council meeting. And it's pretty good, it's pretty neat. Mrs. Wilson and I will show up. We'll probably do 2 minutes to speak it, and the students will lead every minute of it. So our lead fellows will lead every minute of it for the rest of the day. So they're going to do a lot of work, and they're focusing on two big buckets. One is about education about hate speech, and one is about policy work they do around hate speech in the district. And so if you can make it, that'd be awesome. If not, we'll have a lot of great things coming out of that. plus they're designing T-shirts. And they're gonna be, because they want to identify themselves in the work that they're doing, and so we're excited about that work. And just for an FYI, Bronson gave us his 60-day notice. Because either he's 99% sure he's gonna be elected, and if not, he'll definitely be appointed. So it's either way, he will no longer be able to represent us in that fashion. And I told him, I said, well, I'm kind of hope that we don't see you anymore for the next 60 days.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to. But on the flip side, maybe we have something really, we can do a bunch of policy review that we can dump on his lap for the next 60 days.
Keep busy.
Doing a principal training, I think that's it.
Yeah.
It is last
So,
month.
and I think he said he's been with the district for 18 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So it's a long time, so he's breaking up with us.
Hopefully don't see him even after that.
Even after,
when he
yeah,
leaves.
yeah.
We don't want to see him ever again.
Yeah, so he's been working with us to help us find a replacement for him, somebody local that can help continue that work forward. In addition, FYI, we have the HT open house on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday. I'll be in Wenatchee all day. I'm driving up that morning for an OSPI MEAC meeting. And then the next Monday, we'll have our AM coffee with the soups. Next Tuesday, we'll have our PM coffee with the soups. And then on the 9th, just an FYI, there's a TVIP family night. So this is our multilingual families information night and a resource night in the high school. And that's all I have for it. Oh, yeah, also, we have finalized our, please excuse my cutout job. We finalized our window Klingons for our strategic plans. So this is the one in English, the one in Spanish. So we're gonna have one for each of the 5 goals. And so Amy and I will be organizing our outreach with all of our local business and community faith-based partners, have them come in and keep them educated on which each of the 5 goals are, then have each one of them adopt one, and they'll leave with these window cleaners that they'll put in their buildings. So you'll start seeing our propaganda all around the community. And so we're excited for that next phase. So as I said, Jose is doing all the internal mobilization efforts, and then we'll be doing all the external community mobilization efforts. And so and if you want, we can put these to the back of your trucks and your cars, and I'll put all 5 across your windshield, you're all in the Grandview School
On
District.
my little bunker over there.
Yeah, I know, I have a big G in the back of mine right now. People say, you probably shouldn't be speeding on the highway with a Grandview logo in the back of the car. It says for go.
When is your next student advisory thing? When do you have the next one?
Tomorrow, it'll be October
You doing it monthly?
monthly, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You said it's 7:30 to 11:30, something like that?
Yeah, 7:45 to 11:15.
11:15, okay.
Yeah, and it'll be in the high school, in the library. I think the 24th is our next one.
Okay.
Yep, October 24th. And that's all my report. Sorry, I didn't
Thank
get
you.
you on Friday.
Sweet. Okay, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Well, we don't have to have Mr. Stegeman recuse himself. So
Well, it's not to approve it here.
Oh, I see.
We still approve it, he just wouldn't vote.
so this is just a voucher standalone, different than the other ones.
Yes.
Okay, so like to call for a motion to approve the voucher. Not sure what it's called.
General fund.
General fund voucher.
Move to approve the general fund voucher.
Second,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to new business. Like to call for a motion to approve the October 22nd study session at 5 p.m. for the board governance training.
Move to approve.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll go on to the bus surplus. Mr. Shreve, would you please review the bus surplus with us?
We have 4 very old buses and they need to go on their merry way.
Good answer.
Haven't been used, and so Chris is about these over and recommending we surplus them.
Call for a motion to surplus the buses.
Move to approve surplusing our buses.
Second,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah, we could buy that. We could live in the bus.
So go from the board. Anybody got anything from the board?
I finally went and toured the school during open house, the high
Oh.
school. That was the first time I'd walked through the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, and it's really nice. That library is really nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
it makes it- makes
the
it-
weight room, yeah, that's amazing compared to what we used to have.
Yeah, it makes the students feel important.
Yeah, it's really, it's a lot bigger than I thought that it was going to be. Yeah, the classrooms are huge. The art room.
Yeah.
My goodness,
And then
yeah,
they had the room off the back.
Mhm.
and stuff in it.
yeah. So I was impressed. Very good.
One thing I ran into, I was getting coffee and was talking to Wendy down there, and she made a mention that the Smiths have been talking a little bit about possibly selling the rest of that land and the gas pumps and stuff. And I got to thinking in my mind, you know, what if we had our own gas pumps? Would that save us some money instead of having to, you know, we could, and so I actually called Brad, and he has actually already thought about this and had already kind of been in discussion a little bit with the Smiths, but if that does come about, I think Brad would look into that to see. It's just kind of something that popped in my mind that, you know, we could buy at a definitely lower, when something drops, you could buy, and then, you know, I think it would be worthwhile in the long run.
How does that work, though? Do you have to be in the fuel business in order to
Sunnyside has their own fuel tanks.
own your own tanks? But that's what it would be.
You would own this. Yeah, you would own this from them. You'd buy it from them.
Yeah.
To buy it from.
So are you
distributor.
talking the Smitty's right here?
Yep.
On the main drag?
No,
not
the one that's
out
down there by,
Smith?
that's by Brood Awakening,
Yeah.
those
yep,
two,
the
yep.
pumps. Can we get in there?
They used to get
It's pretty
fuel from
tight.
there.
That's pretty tight.
It's a little tight.
Yeah, they do say it's fairly tight. We might have to develop the site a little bit more if we were to do something like that.
Yeah,
And they came in and requested that during that bid process, that, well, what if you buy like 5,000 gallons of diesel? Which you can do out in the market. That's what Sunnyside does. They go out in the market periodically and just buy 5,000, 10,000 gallon. And you can actually save a little bit if you hit the market just right.
Too bad you can't buy it from Costco.
It'll be a long hose.
I know. It's like 50 cents cheaper a gallon, always.
burn 20 gallons going up there to fuel up.
They could, but if we could get it like right now that you approved, was it at 10 cents, 12 cents over the rack, you'd get closer to the 2% mark. We were 2 cents over years ago, going through Conoco over rack, and so that was really close to begin with. So it'd be really close to that lower number you see at Costco. I don't know where they get their fuel, but
Mhm.
it is cheaper. We get it a little cheaper anyway. As is, we get it cheaper than you see at the pump. So we'll talk to them some more about that and have to weigh in, you know, these tanks, how long have the tanks been in there? Are they,
Yeah.
are they certified that they don't have to dig them out? And we had tanks here in the district over where the maintenance shop is at, what used to be the bus garage years ago, and there were tanks underground there, and we had to remove those tanks when we did all the construction. Back in 2000, we removed those tanks, and that one we did have to dig down a ways.
I'm sure.
Just a little spendy.
Just, luckily, there was a grant at the time. And so,
Did you have to remove ground soil, the soil and stuff?
yes, and the canal was right there, the open canal was right there. So we were digging down, getting closer and closer, they were getting closer and closer to that canal.
Kind of like Gary Christensen in the house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He got pretty close to that house
Mhm.
and he was digging
They
that
went
up.
pretty deep on that.
Yep. Anyway, it's just something I thought about and I mean, anything we can do to try to save a little bit of money in the long run. Nowadays, you almost have to look for it.
So is it the building and all, like the big,
I think the
main
L-shaped
office?
building, the offices and the thing, cause
Yeah.
I don't think they do much anymore.
I talk to Doug once in a while. They park their vehicles down there. I think that's all they
Yeah.
really do.
Anyway, they were kind of talking to Wendy about if she wanted to buy it, so that's where I heard about it from, so. I said, well, boy, maybe the school district should think about that. Anyway,
So we'll continue to look at it. And I mentioned to Dan, we'd look into it in October, because September's a little busy right now, and then work with Rob on this one too.
Where are we gonna get our ethanol free fuel if they close that down? That's where I get it for my mower and all my other stuff. School district buy it all.
That's,
Yeah, school board tanks.
they'll sell it to you, but it's 20 over rack. Make a little money on this stuff, your own.
Excellent, yeah.
Anything else from the board?
I just wanted to comment that it was pretty awesome to see that we had some students who had automatic admissions at
did see
Eastern
that.
and Wazoo. And our elementary kids with their performance for Hispanic Heritage Month. It was beautiful to see them on the website, so. Thank you for all those who are getting, you know, or to our district staff who are getting the colleges to come in and offer those opportunities. But also for working across the district or across the buildings to help our kids, you know, perform and be a part of the bigger district, so.
Like Jose said, we're all greyhounds eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
Anything else? This might be the record meeting here,
Yeah,
close to it.
Josie's not here to stop
I
us.
know.
I looked, I made sure before I came, I looked to see if there was Josie time. Okay, nothing else? All right, we're adjourned.
Thanks for being here, Russell.
Did you want to talk about anything? You sure? I don't want you to feel left out.
You should have
Gas pumps,
brought Santi for the.